Mr. Clerk, can I have roll call, please?
Mr. Callahan.
Here.
Mr. Sierra.
Here.
Mr. Oswald.
Here.
Mr. Baird. Mrs. Mitchell.
Here.
Mr. Paulette.
Here.
Mrs. Simmons.
Here.
Mrs. Davis.
Here.
Mrs. Keys.
Here.
Mr. Jesse.
Here.
Mr. Stewart.
Here.
One absent,
Mr. Baird called me. He is en route. He should be here momentarily. Public hearings? There are none. Can I get approval of the minutes?
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Sarah. Second by Mr. Tolet. Is there any further discussion? Question been called. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Reports and reports from city officials. Mayor Whitfield.
Thank you, Council President. And just a couple quick announcements, updates. Today we had the chance to do the ribbon cutting for No Nonsense Training and Fitness. This is one of the companies that was really struggling with it being inside of Midway Mall, that we were able to connect in with SBDC, and they were able to transition now over by Big B Coffee, so it's pretty exciting to see that. I also I don't think I got a chance to mention before that, you know, we had our conversations, have been working with Invacare, and we're excited and proud that they have committed to retain jobs in Elyria and also add additional jobs here in the city of Elyria. You know, that was one of the things that we really wanted to try to make sure we're retaining our top employers, so we're excited about that. And then I've also been in conversation with the mayor of Lorraine about the Carvana project, and those are a lot of jobs, and we want to try to figure out how we can fill those locally. You know, there's been conversation about folks from out of town coming to take those jobs, so, you know, hopefully I'll have something to present to you all here soon about our strategy for how Elyria and Lorraine are going to try to make sure those jobs get filled with local folks. So that's all I got. Thank you.
Any questions for the mayor? Thank you, Mayor. Director Firestein.
Thank you, Chair. Through the chair to members of council, no report tonight, but happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Any questions? No? Finance Director Pulaski.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At the last council meeting, I had reported that our October 1st distribution from the Regional Income Tax Agency was down $800,000 from the same distribution last year. The second distribution, which we received last week, was up $400,000 as compared to the second distribution in October last year. So for the month, we're down about $400,000 as compared to last October. So we bounced back a little bit. So.
Okay, very good. Assistant Law Director Bruning.
Thank you, Mr. President. No report.
Engineer Schneider.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just wanted to give a quick update. A lot of the projects we're doing right now, we're in the final stages as far as restoration. So a lot of those projects will just see minor work going on. The only new thing to report with council would be, it's a new but old, but the Cleveland Street project, later on this week, weather permitting, you'll see some activity out there as far as adjusting those manholes and catch basins to grade and everything. So ODOT is finally going to complete that. So I guess with that, I open up to anything, council.
For Mr. Schneider, any questions for Mr. Schneider? Mr. Tolet?
Through you, Mr. President. The project on East Bridge Street, the housing project just past the railroad, is are they just clearing that lot, or is that construction project completely moving forward now?
As far as I know, it's moving forward. I know they submitted plans off to the building department, and I believe it has all gone through.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Schneider? Assistant Safety Service Director Brubaker.
Thank you, Mr. President. I was asked by a couple council members tonight. Leaf pickup will commence a week from tonight. So you'll start to see crews out there picking up leaves, going through the neighborhoods. We'll have anywhere from 6 to 7 trucks out. Issue 6 money, purchased another automated leaf vac. We should have that on the road here in a couple, 3 weeks. So we're transitioning from the old style into the automated, but you'll start to see our trucks rolling out there over the next several weeks. So unless there's any other questions, that's all I have for tonight.
Any questions for Mr. Brubaker or Mr. Sirra?
Through you, Mr. President. So, just as a refresher, where are the leaves supposed to be put, on the curb lawn or on the street?
Leaves should be put on the curb lawn. We don't like them into the street. It poses a multitude of issues, mainly for this time of year. We get a lot of rain, a lot of weather, and that tends to put them in our sewer, so we don't want them in the street. We'd like them on the curb lawn. They can bag them. We will also pick them up that way, and bags are available.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Brubaker. Ms. Calvert. Lear Fire Department Chief Mack. Parks and Recs Director, Mr. Reardon.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to take this off. So I'm happy to be back. So I just want to thank you all for your support of the department. And I look forward to bringing some things back safely as we go forward. I just want to let you guys know I have met with the mayor and his team a few times already. I don't have a schedule ready yet, but I would say maybe in the next week or two, we can get some dates out there of some programs that we're going to start to slowly bring back. Not only at the rink, but, you know, at a few of the rec centers, hopefully. So just want to kind of give that update. The rink is open. We're operating. The hockey club's going. One high school so far has skated, so they're going to be coming in the next few weeks. Staff is doing a great job of keeping everything clean. So Kevin's doing a great job of keeping the supplies coming, so that's, you know, that's positive. And the organizations have been very good about extending some grace to us as we kind of work out some kinks, is what works the first, you know, week or two and what maybe hasn't worked. So they've been really, really good with that. I'm just going to go through a couple updates on projects, and then if you have any questions, be more than happy to answer them. East Rec, the construction, the building will be usable, and I would say probably 80 to 90% done by Election Day. So Tuesday the 3rd. Like I said, it won't be at 100%, but it will be enough that we can utilize it and groups can utilize it. Met with the law department, and they're working on the agreement for Horizon. So that should get back to you guys, I believe, November 2nd for full council to go over that, and then we'll decide a date that Horizon feels comfortable moving their program, you know, after that. Washington Village Park Play Structure is on order. I believe it's in. We're just waiting for an install date from the crew. I think we're second in their queue. So I think they have one more kind of bigger project to finish, and then we should be next. I've been told the end of November. So again, there's not a hard date for that, but as soon as, you know, I get one, I'll let you guys know about that. East Park Shelter install should start this week. I think the weather may have pushed that back a few days, but you'll see that start to go up. And then the restroom will come shortly after that. I believe the contract has been signed, so we're not quite to the start date on that one yet, but we're very, very close. And then the South Park Trail should be a pre-construction meeting this week, so you'll start to see some kind of movement over there maybe in the next month, definitely in the next month, maybe in the next few weeks for that project. So any questions?
Any questions for Ms. Reardon? Mr. Oswald.
Through you, Mr. President. There's going to be a restroom, and it's cold. So do you shut them down every winter? So you're going to get this thing fired up, and then you're going to shut her down? Could you help me out?
So typically we do. Most of our outside restrooms are not year-round, but this one will be year-round. With the new trail back there, we thought it would be a good idea to make this one year-round, so as people are walking, they can utilize that.
Okay. Ms. Keys?
Through you, Mr. President. Can we get some garbage cans on that trail and maybe some dog waste bags available for the people? I walk that a lot, and I'm picking up a lot of trash, and I think if there were some containers, that would be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also had a request via email last week for some benches out there. So we do
Yes.
believe we have some benches already here that we're not utilizing. So I talked to Jay, and we're hoping to get those out there relatively soon. I would say within the next week or two.
A follow-up with that is, I had a couple residents call wanting to know if they could sponsor a bench, like a memorial bench, to put in that area.
We have had that. We don't have a formal program necessarily, but we have one like in front of East Rec for a senior citizen that had passed away that was in the program. So yeah, if you have their information, I can reach out to them or just give them my information. I'll be happy to, we have kind of a, not that they have to use the vendor, but a vendor that, can do the plaque and all that for them.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Brody, did you want to weigh in on that or no?
No, I think that would be fine with Mr. Reardon's direction.
Okay. Anybody else? Ms. Davis?
Through you, Mr. Chair. Is the fountain in the park going to be up and running before the end of the year, or are we going to wait till next year?
I don't have that information, but I don't know if Mr. Snyder, I apologize, I'm not sure where that project is right now.
The basics of the fountain are complete. The only thing left is to put the plaques up and put the benches in. We'd rather not fire it up if possible, just for the fact that we just turn right around and have to winterize it again. But that's just my opinion.
So when do you anticipate the fences coming down in that then, John? Or are you going to keep that up?
No. We plan on taking that down soon. The contractor still has some things up there that he needs to clean up. That's part of the cleanup stuff they need to do over there, but, a week or two, probably tops.
So by the end of the
Weather
month?
permitting, obviously, but yes.
Okay. Any other questions for Ms. Reardon? Well, Ms. Reardon, we're glad to have you back, and I'd like to personally thank the mayor for making this happen. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Very good. I think we've covered everybody that's here. President's referrals and remonstrances. Thank you. Number 1, Finance Committee. Number 2, Finance Committee. Number 3, Finance Committee. Number 4, Finance Committee. Number 5, Joint Meeting with Community Development and Finance. Number 6, Joint Meeting of Community Development and Finance Committee. Number 7, Community Development Committee. Number 8, Utilities, Safety, Environment. Items 9 through 13, placed on file, copies upon request. Petitions and remonstrances from the lobby. Petitions and remonstrances from the council members.
There are none?
Petitions and remonstrances from the lobby.
There are none.
Reports of standing and special committees.
There are none?
Ms. Mitchell?
Mr. Tollett sent an email this morning from, you don't want it read?
He asked that we hold off, there was some question regarding.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Resolutions first reading.
There's one, sponsored by Finance, a resolution approving a list submitted by the Safety Service Director for the collections of delinquent, inactive utility accounts and directing the Clerk of Council to certify said accounts to the Lorraine County Auditor.
Mr. Tollett?
Mr. President, I ask this resolution be approved under its first reading under suspension of rules.
Second.
Second by Ms. Davis. Is there any discussion?
Question?
Question's been called on suspension. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. On the passage, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Resolution 2020-23. There are no more resolutions first reading.
Resolutions second reading.
There are none.
Resolutions third reading.
There are none.
Ordinances first reading.
Sponsored by Finance, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into a contract for the replacement of lead services and galvanized service lines public and private sides in the city of Elyria and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Gillette?
Mr. President, I ask that this ordinance be passed in its first reading under suspension of rules and declared an emergency.
Second.
Second by Ms. Davis. Is there any discussion?
Question.
Question's been called. On suspension, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. On the emergency, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. On the passage, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
Ordinance 2020-138. There are no more ordinances first reading.
Ordinance is second reading.
Sponsored by Community Development. An ordinance amending section 1131.02 codified ordinances of the city of Elyria, Ohio, known as the zoning ordinance, to rezone real property located between West River Road North and Griswold Road, Elyria, Ohio, from B-G Business General District to B-AO Business Automotive Oriented District.
I declare this ordinance had a second reading. Public hearing scheduled for November 2nd, 2020 at 7 p.m. Council chambers.
No more ordinances second reading.
Ordinance is third reading.
There are none.
Committee calls.
Community Development requests the Law Director, Safety Service Director, Engineer, and Building Inspector on 10/26, 6 p.m., followed by a joint with Finance in the council chambers. All referred items. Finance requests the Mayor, Finance Director, Law Director, Safety Service Director, and Engineer on 10/26, following the joint. All referred items in council chambers. Utility Safety Environment requests the Safety Service Director, Law Director, and Engineer on 10/21/20, streamed live at 6 p.m., all referred items. And Strategic Planning requests the Mayor, Safety Service Director, Finance Director, and Law Director on 11/2, streamed live immediately following regular council meeting.
Miscellaneous and unfinished business. I think, just to kind of follow up with Mr. Jesse's discussion regarding the utility bills, that we were going to lift the moratorium effective December, was it December 1st? December 1st. Has there already been any discussion more with that as far as that goes from Mayor or Administration or Derek? We were just doing a follow-up.
Yeah, so he can speak to the details internally. I think part of what we're working on is trying to make sure residents have access to assistance. So right now, if there's any resident out there who is in need of financial assistance to pay for their bill, they should go to youkanapply.org or call the Salvation Army. We've put a lot of CARES Act money into that, and that's why we hadn't announced shutoffs, because we were trying to work on having that in place first. So we just want to encourage residents, Salvation Army, call them. We put a lot of money into them, so make sure that the residents take advantage of it, or go to youkanapply.org.
Okay, and we'll keep announcing that just to make sure that everyone's in a position to do this. Is there any other information or any miscellaneous and unfinished business? Mr. Baird.
Yeah, I'd like to apologize for being late. I think that's the first time in 35 years, and I was out of town, so I do apologize to everyone. Fortunately, it was a short agenda, so I didn't miss much, so thank you.
We had you covered, Mr. Baird. We knew you were on your way.
Any other business to come? Hearing none, I move we adjourn.
Second. Moved by Mr. Baird, second by Ms. Mitchell. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried.
We have never had because somebody call or say something and then we'd be in trouble. Stand around talking. What happened? What he said? Yeah, you're the only one. Mikey said, let us get out of here. Oh, they asked me. Oh, I do want to talk to the chief, though. That's my fire hydrants in the area. Good. Phil, That was so short, you didn't even need the candy.
I know. I'll eat them.
How you doing, Mike? I'm good. You. Chief. Are you a member of the NAACP? No, you didn't give me a